If you've been trying to get into the mood of crushing that next workout, but your metal playlist really isn't doing it for you anymore, let me just tell you to picture this guy's face after you watch this documentary. Abducted in Plain Sight. This is one of the most twisted things I've ever seen in a Netflix documentary. If you don't have a weak stomach, I say you should go watch it. If you do, I'd say it's better off not knowing about this. So please leave my video. So we see how this young girl, Jan, has been kidnapped twice by this guy, Robert, who we'll call B, just like they do in the documentary. You can see that this life is actually just Jan's video game where she's the protagonist. She has to defeat this evil man. There's aliens and all this stuff. Her parents are some kind of NPCs, just the worst programmable NPCs that there ever been. And honestly, guys, these are just the worst parents you can ever see. They completely fail on every single level to protect their daughter. Every single choice they make is the wrong one. And that's from before the kidnapping to now. We see that they let a grown-ass man, he's like over 45 years old, spend the night with their 12-year-old daughter for about 6 months because it's helpful for his therapy, he says. And they let him do this alone at night after she goes to bed. And honestly, it doesn't stop there. In fact, it only gets worse. They don't call for the police for 5 days. 5 whole days after their daughter's kidnapped, just because Gail, his wife, comes over and starts crying about, oh, he wouldn't do anything, something just probably happened. Okay, well, if something happened, still call the police so that they can get some help. It's been 5 days. Let's call that fail number 2. After the first time she was kidnapped and married in Mexico, this man still has connections to the daughter by the parents. Apparently, this guy, Robert, is some kind of Rain Man, head honcho, alpha male playboy you never even would have suspected. And he has all these people just playing their part, falling right into place like they're on a chessboard. So we find out her dad's actually super gay when it tells us that he's a florist. And then we end up finding out that he also does some, quality bro time with B like all heterosexual males do nowadays. And honestly, this dad's just one of the most ineffective, sorry saps of a man that you've ever seen. The way he just handles every single part of the situation until towards the end he gets a little bit better. You see that he actually does seem remorseful at one point, which brings me to the mother. Now, Jan's mom is a real fat piece of stinky shit. Before the kidnapping, the mom cheats on the husband. Whatever, he did too. But after the kidnapping, she ends up cheating on him with the same dude that kidnapped their daughter like 11 times over. And every single time it seems that she's rethinking of these moments, she's like smiling to herself, and it's really disgusting to see actually. Like, why are you smiling? You found out what a piece of shit this guy is. And basically because of the mom, she ended up being the Eskimo sisters with her daughter. And just when you think everything should be said and done, this stupid idiot sends Jan to camp against the husband's wishes, against common sense, anybody's common sense, where obviously he continues to molest her for the 2 weeks or so that they're out there alone in his trailer. And honestly, the mom doesn't even seem like she's actually remorseful of anything. Seems like she would do it again and again. It appears as though she only wrote her book and helped to make this documentary just so that she can make more money off of it or something. It doesn't even seem like she gives a shit about Jan. So if all these stupid decisions that they've made so far haven't already convinced you that they're the worst parents that you could ever have been born to, just look how they act after the first time they get her back. There's an open and shut case basically on this pedophile. He's gonna go to prison, and then they sign those affidavits that let him off the hook just so that their little secret, their little devil's triangle going on wouldn't be exposed. So we see that the second time Jan gets kidnapped, they hesitate again to call the FBI. Why? Who would do that? Why do you think? Oh, so it doesn't get in the press, of course. I mean, who would want that in the press? I mean, it's only logical when your brain is made of pudding and it's swishing around in your empty-ass head. It really just makes you wonder how they're not in jail right now and how they were never in jail. This is clearly just child neglect. And I mean, you can go with the, oh, they're just really dumb parents. It was the 70s. They didn't really know. But honestly, there's no way that all these things can be so coincidental and line up with this guy's plan without their involvement or knowing at some extent. Basically, the documentary just tells you they shouldn't even be involved with these kids' lives still. They're obviously horrible for anybody to have as parents. They should be in prison because this wouldn't have happened if they didn't have every single screw loose in their head. Not to make any excuses for Robert, he's a real piece of shit, even after we do learn that he was supposedly sexually assaulted as a child as well, which could make some sense into all of this. But I mean, come on. He couldn't have killed himself sooner before he and these parents completely robbed this girl of her entire childhood from when she was about 12 years old. And we see Jan talking many times in this documentary, and honestly, we just know there's still something going on in there because there's no way you can go through all of this believing aliens are real, believing you have to be impregnated by this man, that your dad's not your dad, from when you're 12 to 16 years old, and be a normal functioning human being. Whoever her psychiatrist is that helped her after all this did a great job, apparently, that she's even able to come out here and talk at all. Seems normal on the outside as much as we can tell. So I think I'm going to stop right there because I can just go all night talking about these parents, Robert. I could talk about his brother, the guy's wife, everybody involved except for that FBI agent. You're the real MVP.